What's up, guys? It's Waz and CJ here. We just wanted to welcome you to the Embrace the Chase podcast, where the chase is an opportunity every day to create change and go after a dream. We can't wait to see where this chase goes, and we are blessed that you're coming on this ride with us.
And we're live. We're live. No, what's up, guys? We're at High Point University. I'm Brett Wozniak. This is CJ Neese, and it's Embrace the Chase podcast. What a crazy ride.
Yeah,
All
man.
right.
Yeah.
We went from, sitting here, we're sitting here today, and how do we get here?
Dude, I don't even
No, the crazy part is that, you took me on my visit about a year and 2 months ago, and surprisingly, I'm here. I don't really know how or why.
I don't even know
what made me come here besides, baseball. But I didn't really see you on half my visit.
You didn't see many people on half your visit.
Shout out Gracie, took you away from me. But yeah, that's just wild how we're sitting here today doing our first episode.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things that this was not in the plan or even discussed when we were on the visit at all.
It wasn't.
What was discussed during the visit was beer, and that
Sorry, Mom. Sorry, Dad.
Baseball and beer.
But that's just how it was.
Yeah.
No, but before we actually get into things, I've honestly had this in the vault for a while, and I really didn't know how to start it. And then once I got on campus, it was just I'm gonna start this. Then I ended up delaying it. And I actually was talking to I don't even know who it was. It was just someone on a random night. I was like, I'm gonna start this podcast, and they were like, who are you gonna start it with? I go, I don't know, man. And then I texted you. I was like, do you want to start a podcast? And you were like,
dude,
yeah, why not?
Well, I think for me, it was just a lot of my life, I've just kind of been that's a great idea, but I'll do it later. I could do that, but I'll push it back. But for me, it's senior year, and it's just let's go. Might as well. I'll probably never do a podcast ever again other than this one. So, why not?
I guess it's the only one, so we just got to
we'll just roll with it and see what happens.
Keep on going with it.
And that's what's fun about. I think that's where we're both very different in good ways, but I think that's one area where we're very similar is we're willing to kind of put ourselves out there, try something new. And I think that's what a lot of this podcast is really about. Just kind of doing whatever is on your mind and heart, chasing after it.
Yeah. The question I got for you is, how did you get to High Point? Because we got similar stories, but on completely different paths on on different sides of the country.
Yep.
But how'd you get to take me on my visit?
Yeah. So
give me the behind the scenes. How did that happen? Just simply take me through that.
Yeah, man. My freshman year, I was at NC State. I'm from North Carolina. Grew up here. I've been here my entire life because I'm 20 minutes from home now. I'm from Greensboro. So went to NC State, and that was COVID year. Got cut short. Kind of went home. I only had 3 at-bats in 17 games. So wasn't really doing anything. My shoulder was hurt on the mound. I was rehabbing from that. And I don't know, I just kind of, in my heart, I was I think I need to search for somewhere else. It's just not where I'm supposed to be right now. I entered the portal, and that was a wild summer. You've been in the portal, and the portal is hectic. For anybody that's been in the portal, is not the most fun thing ever, because anything can happen. You could be stuck in the portal for months and months, forever, really.
Yeah, don't mean to cut you off right here, but were you playing summer ball in the port when you were in the portal?
Yeah. I was in Mooresville, North Carolina, which is right outside Charlotte, and your most stereotypical summer ball town. And during COVID, and this town was nah, screw the mask, just give us baseball. That's all there was. And so I was showing up to the field every day, and I was two-way because I was hitting and pitching, and I was playing baseball, and I was driving back home every night because I didn't have a host family. So not only was I in the portal and talking to teams, and I couldn't go on visits because of COVID, but I was also playing. So there was a lot of stress on and off the field because of that. But yeah, man, eventually I knew our former coach at High Point, Craig Cozart,
Mhm.
who my first year, that's who I played under.
Yeah.
And he recruited me. I've known him for a while, great guy, and came here with the program was struggling at the time.
Yeah.
And the facilities are not what they are now, and they're still growing. But I think for me, there was a lot of comfort here for whatever
Mhm.
reason. I think it was one of those things where I came in the locker room the first day, and it felt like a family.
Mhm.
Um, and we go through that season, and it was horrible. Absolutely, I think we started the season 7-7, which is fine,
It's
like
not
not
bad.
great.
It's not horrible. Not bad.
But then we won 7 games the rest of the year in 50 games. Like that's
To what, like 14 and what, like 30 something?
yes, and it was
A tough 30
horrible.
games.
And the problem was it was like an all conference schedule the whole way through. So we were playing the same teams over and over again because we weren't playing
That's
any out of
tough.
conference.
That's rough.
And so you're going to the same places over and over again, and you just get beaten. It was a horrible, horrible year. But
So horrible year though. What was your mental state being at like a new school and a new staff and new guys and like a new talent? Like, what was your mental state during like that time?
yeah, dude. So like
Like, did it go? Were you like,
it was a
did you
roller
go that
coaster.
way and that way, or
It
were
was
you just
such a
like,
roller coaster. Like at the beginning of the year, so at NC State, I mean, like I wasn't on that like first team there.
mhm,
Like I was battling every single day, just showing up. Like I don't know what's gonna happen.
yeah,
Whereas at High Point, I was showing up every day, and it was like, all
mhm,
right, like I'm gonna throw today. And I had a back injury, so I couldn't even hit sophomore year, which that was annoying. But I was showing up every day, and I was like, all right, I'm pitched today. And I think it kind of reinvigorated my love for baseball
mhm,
and just the reminder that like, hey, like this is why like I'm
mhm,
doing this. Like you step on that mound and it's like me against you, and like that's what I want. I want that
mhm,
competitiveness. Um, even though like the team was hitting walls and stuff, it still felt like we were always just on the edge of winning.
mhm,
It was never like we were really getting torn apart. It was always we just needed like one play in the middle of the game that would flip
mhm,
things, and it just never happened. So by the end of the year, that's a really long season when you're losing that much. I think once again, I just got demoralized,
mhm.
and I leave, and I was like, man, like that was just I've never experienced anything like that. Because when I was at state, we were the number one team in the country
Yeah.
for 3 weeks. Like, we started 12-0, and I think we had 2 or 3 losses by the time COVID hit.
I mean, and you got all those fans coming out and
Oh,
stuff like that.
and now
So
we
it's
have
really not.
5 fans a game, maybe like just the parents, and
Hey,
so
not this year though.
the environment was just so different. And I think that year we really lacked the competitiveness,
Mhm,
and we really lacked the kind of like cutthroat mentality that there was at state
mhm.
with those guys. Like you walk in the locker room and the standard is
This is already
like
here.
the standard is you're playing pro ball.
Mhm,
Like everyone in there is playing pro ball, and like that's if you're not wanting to do that, you're not relevant.
yeah.
And but you come to High Point that year, and it was like, oh yeah, man, like we like playing baseball, and, which is fine, but that's not what I was used to. And I think come in last year, my junior year, when
That's
you came
when
in for the visit,
Joey
I think
and
Joey came in, and we get some transfers coming in from other big schools. Like Lewis was at Arkansas,
mhm,
Cam was Virginia Tech. We had a
mhm,
lot of JUCO guys come in, and I
mhm.
tell you what, like I mean, you're a JUCO guy.
Yeah.
JUCO guys have just an edge about them, that competitiveness that you need.
I mean, we just want to play ball.
Right.
That's about it.
Yeah, and I think last year you started seeing the flip of the mentality, even in fall ball, like
You
when you
start
weren't
seeing
even
the bright
here.
side of things.
Yeah,
Like you start seeing the light out of a 14 and like
right.
32 season.
And granted, like it wasn't a great season
No.
by any standard, but it was one of those years where we kind of like beat Wake Forest, beat Duke. We were in a lot of games against these big schools that, hey,
I
like
mean,
if we had
I
had
mean, you guys were ranked dead last in the preseason standings and somehow
finished
wound
fourth,
up fourth.
yeah, and I mean, did it in the way we wanted? No, but it was one of those where like, hey, like we bring
Mhm,
these guys back, and we go out this off season
mhm.
and get even more like dudes and
Yeah.
dudes that have stuck around. I mean, there's no telling to me.
Mhm.
It's just I think you saw that when you came on the
No, I
visit,
did.
the
Like it was
switch.
just completely like coming from a Power Five to a JUCO to a mid major. The energy was just completely not what I expected,
Hmm.
not what I wanted at the time, not what I expected. like honestly, like it was just like wow, just like kind of taking it all in. And so, how excited are you about the staff, and how excited are you about coming this year, knowing that you have probably one of the bigger roles on the staff this year, like going from 3 at bats and what 4 innings at state your freshman year to a 14-31 season to seeing the light to now actually like let's ready to rock and roll. Like we have a chance to actually do something. You could be a big part of it. Like what's your mindset like about that?
Yeah, I think it just elevates everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Like I think when you kind of, I think for a long time our team has performed to the level of who we
Mm-hmm.
play. Like we saw that against NC State last year at the Rocker Stadium. Like the first time we played State, it was a whirlwind. It was bad. But
Yeah,
the
I watched
second
that
time
game.
we played at Rockers, it was like, hey, like we can play with these guys. Like
Mhm.
it's fine now. We didn't hold. Like, but
No,
6 inning rolls around, we're winning. We're like, all right, man. Like we can play to this level. We
you
can.
just
We
need
can.
those extra pieces and extra.
Yes, you need little things here and there, and I think
Mhm.
we filled a lot of those gaps.
Even with the returners, I think a lot more mature,
Yes,
a lot better, a better mindset. Just from what I saw from my 48 hours.
yeah. I think last year we took on the word elevate as like our team
Mhm.
word. I think this year we just did again
Mhm.
because I think with the starting pitchers we brought in between you, Gus,
Yes. Even Garcia coming back.
yeah, Garcia coming back looking better. I mean,
Mhm.
I think it's one of those things where we just elevated again.
Mhm.
And I think with y'all coming in,
Mhm.
and especially the hitter, we had a lot of hitters come in this year that are legit guys that can make a difference
Yeah.
on all aspects of the ball. I think facing those off the mound and having more minds in the pen that are really smart and
Yeah.
have seen a lot of things and learned from a lot of guys, it just elevates you even more.
Mhm.
Because when you're surrounded by guys that are just like, like we're just going to go out today and play ball, it's a lot
Mhm.
different when guys are bringing the mentality like, hey, we're the very least we're going to learn today.
Yeah.
We're going to figure something out. So I mean, dude, this year we can only hold ourselves back. Really, I think we can either be in a regional come June, or we could be in the same spot we were last year. I think we kind of hold that in our own hands.
Yeah. I mean, say after the season, everything winds up the way we want it to end up, either good or bad. Doesn't really matter at the end of the day. We really can't tell the future. What does your what do you want out of it? Like what do you want out of the season? What do you want like just out of your last what? You're graduating in the spring,
Mhm.
so your last what, 4 or 5 months
Yeah,
as a college student, college baseball player, like who knows? What if you do have the opportunity to go throw baseball professionally?
yeah.
Would you do that, or do you have like another mindset?
I think right now it's just focused on the day.
Yeah.
Because I think for so long, early in my career, even last year, it was like, okay, but in 2 years I'll be,
No, yeah.
but in
I totally
come
see it.
like junior year I'll be, come when I'm 25
No,
I'll
yeah.
be. I think this year I've really had to step back with changing my my
Mhm.
mechanics literally from straight over top to under, man.
Mhm.
Like it's one of those things where I've just kind of had to step back and be like, all right, like it's like what can I do today?
Mhm.
Whether that's like, all right, if I'm not pitching, how can I help the younger guys? 'Cause
Yeah.
they need to grow. We got young guys that need to grow because they have some potential.
Mhm.
And the sooner they realize like today is what matters, and
Mhm.
3 years from now it'll take care of itself. I mean, dude, like they're going to be in a lot better position.
Mhm.
Um, so I think this year I've kind of really tried to focus on whatever's happening today, whatever I can control today. Like that's what's going to be on my mind. Like come June, whatever happens, happens, man.
Mhm.
Like at that point, it could be good, it could be bad. It doesn't really matter. But if I take care of today and I
Mhm.
stack those days, I mean,
Stacking
it
days
should be
that.
good.
Yeah.
But either way, I mean, it'll take care of itself.
I mean, not to sound cliche or anything, but that's what this whole podcast is about: is embracing the chase.
Yeah,
It could be negative, it could be positive, but every day is a chase. So might as well go and chase after the day.
yeah. No, seriously. And one thing I was thinking about, kind of backtracking a little bit, what was it on your visit over a year ago when you and I were sitting in my little apartment with the twin beds? Like, what was it I mean, you had your K-State bags and everything. Like, I was like, dude, like, I understand, man. Like,
Dude's been through the ringer. He knows.
like, why here? Like, what was the thought process?
So, short story, was at Nebraska, didn't work out. I was actually committed there. Then I committed to K-State, went there for a year. Actually pitched, was on the travel squad. Not many really freshmen do that
Mm-hmm.
out of Power 5. Was on this, like, in the dugout watching draft arms, first round draft pick, 6th round draft pick, 14th round draft pick. So I was like, I need to get there.
Yeah.
I really didn't think I was gonna get there at K-State necessarily. So I hopped in the portal. Same with you, was playing summer ball and just decided to go the JUCO route because, like, you can't really go to a school out of the portal without visiting it.
Yeah.
You can't go to a school without actually shaking anybody's hands or meeting some of the guys or whatever. So I was just like, I'm just gonna bet on myself, and like, that's a terrible thing to say, but like, that's what you do every day.
Yeah.
It's not really like a cocky thing, but always bet on yourself. So that's what I did. Talked to my parents about it, and you know, there was a couple options for JUCO, and I picked the one I think I wanted, but at the end of the day, like, it could have or could have not been the best decision for me regarding, like, growth and development wise and relationship wise. But like, everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
That place got me here, and why here? 48 hours doesn't do it justice. You got guys saying why here all the time. You got, throughout the JUCO season, it's like, oh, this kid's committed to High Point. What? Never heard of them.
Yeah.
Like,
Seriously, especially on the West Coast.
Like, February, UCLA was calling my JUCO coach, and it was just like, oh, he's already committed. They're like, what? I was like, yeah, I'm already committed. But High Point, like, people give the cliche answer of the school or the beautiful campus or like the academic programs or just the sports programs or just anything. Like, High Point was like Joey and Miles, and all of them were the only ones to pick up the phone and talk to me like a normal human being.
Yeah.
And
They don't BS, man. Like,
no,
they're straight
and
to the
then, like,
point.
create like a relationship with me from the jump, and like, whatever was said in the process is what actually, like, came to fruition. Like,
Yeah, which you don't see a lot in college baseball.
no, you really don't. And like, what was promised was what was promised. Like, yeah, you had to work for it, but like, the opportunity was there, and the opportunity to grow. And like, the one thing was, do you want to get drafted? Like, oh shit,
Yeah.
like, I want to get drafted. And that's honestly why I came here, because I knew there was, like, from the guys that stayed from last year's team, the guys that I met on my visit, I feel like they did have that mindset.
Yeah.
They just had to figure out what that mindset really was.
I think with a school that was small like High Point and doesn't have a great baseball history,
It kind of it plays a part
yeah,
into the mindset, like a losing mindset.
Yes.
Like, not really like you have a losing mindset. It's just that, like, historically,
you don't win here.
in the 70s,
Yeah.
they were what, 40-6 in
Well,
1970.
NAIA.
Yeah, with Otis Foster.
Goatis.
But no, like, the opportunity to, like, put the school back on the map, the opportunity to play with a new group of guys, the opportunity to play with a great staff, the opportunity, cliche, to wear purple again.
Yeah, I think you just like.
I think I'm just purple pride over here,
dude.
but
a little different shade, but
no, yeah,
we'll let you off the hook.
Like, and then academically, like, it's just
Good degree.
Just get a degree.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, like,
Want to play ball, man.
just want to play baseball,
Yeah.
and they were giving me the opportunity, so
Heck yeah.
I took the leap of faith and said, all right, never heard of this school, let's do it.
I mean that's perfect in a podcast, man. Like, just take a leap of faith.
Take a leap of faith.
See where it goes. I mean, worst comes to worst, we have only a couple people watch this, and like, whatever. Like,
Yeah,
I'm having a good time hanging out with you.
I mean, we're
like,
20 minutes in. If you made it this far,
we're
I
doing
mean,
something
we're
all
doing
right.
something right.
This is the first take, which
No,
is
yeah.
impressive.
No, yeah. Thanks for
We
listening.
haven't embarrassed ourselves yet.
No,
I
not
don't
yet.
think. If we have, just let us know.
Yeah. Put it in the comments. Subscribe to YouTube. Follow the Instagram. We'll let you know what that is later. But, you know, when I got here on my visit, you had a brand.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I was wearing that shirt the other day. All it takes is all you got. Like, what's and then you were talking to me yesterday about like a new brand, like a outdoorsy kind of brand. Like, where is that? I mean, we could always put it on here, and followers can. Hopefully, we got followers.
Oh yeah, if we ever get people to call on, like maybe I'll throw it on here.
No, we'll throw it on here. But what's the headspace around it? What's the deal with that?
Yeah, so I mean, so last year when we first met, I was making shirts for a thing I called Espresso Self.
Yeah.
It's
like you're expressing your feelings.
Yeah, like man, I kind of felt true story. I was on a lawnmower in my yard, and I was listening to some gospel music, bro. And I literally just was like,
I get that.
Just all my heart, man. I was like, I think I need like I've struggled so bad my freshman year with like anxiety and depression.
No, I get that. No, I'm right there with you.
I was like, so many of my own teammates and my friends, like they have no outlet, or like maybe they just need to hear that one thing.
Yeah.
That'll lift up their day. And so I was just like, all right, so every day on Instagram, I'm gonna do an Espresso Self shot of the day.
And that was your everyday reminder, like it's not a bad day.
Yeah.
Like it's a great day to be alive. Like, I mean, every student athlete, I mean, we're all struggling in one way or another.
Yes.
And and we're trying to make it more prevalent, like with the whole mental health thing. So, I mean, I feel like every brand, like even your brand's a mental health thing.
Yeah.
Because it all started because of that.
Yeah. And to me, I didn't set out to do like t-shirts and stuff.
No, yeah.
Like,
it just kind of happened.
It was one of those things where my buddy has a t-shirt company.
Yeah.
And he was talking to me about it. I was like, you know what? Like let me talk to my teammates. Let's see if some people will buy it. And first round of shirts go out, and like all my teammates, unbelievable, were just like, dude, like let's go.
Like
we'll buy it.
Yeah.
Even the coaching staff was like, hey, yo, like we'll support you. Like,
was that at State or was that here?
That was here. That was last year. So junior year.
And Joey wears it all the time.
Yeah. And guys, like literally, Jack was in the locker room wearing the shirt today.
Yeah.
And then I came out with the second round of shirts. Same thing.
I mean, you have like a brown shirt that I don't have yet.
Well, the brown shirts were sold out, man.
I know.
Well, here's
I was late to the party,
and I came out with the third round. Third round took like 5 months to get the shirts. Like it was unbelievable.
Supplied men.
And I think just it kind of fizzled out, and I just kind of stopped doing it. Not because I didn't want to, but
I mean that's just how it works.
Yeah, and you and I had met around that time, and that's when like I think the first time we got in my car on your visit, Mike Stud was the first one that came on. And if y'all don't know this guy, he loves Mike Stud.
I mean, shout out Stevenson Ranch.
So like we should have known like from the get go. Wow, lost my words right there. But you saw my shirts and you saw Joey wearing my shirt.
Yeah, it was actually that night.
Yeah, and you were like, "Yo, like that's your shirt."
Yeah, I need to get one.
And Joey was like, "Yeah, man, like that's a shirt."
Yeah,
like,
we support this guy. Like,
and he goes, "Like I had t-shirts."
Yeah. So.
And yeah, like that's.
So what's this new endeavor? What's this new brand?
So the new brand, it once again goes right into the theme of this whole podcast of just like jumping in and doing it.
Is it a step forward of like a step further of the espresso brand, or is it coincided with it?
No,
I feel like you could.
I could, 100%. But I think for me right now, so my dad's always, since I was in elementary school, he was like, man, like I want to start an outdoor clothing company and like I want to just run with it. And he's just never done it. And now,
because it's like this podcast, you just got to do it.
Yeah, and so like we made hats for ourselves a couple of years ago, and man, I called him the other day and I was just like, let's do this thing. I was like, I don't know how to. So the theory is, I make videos of like fly fishing, hunting, deep sea fishing, just like whatever he can outdoors. And we're just going to throw them on YouTube, try to make a lot of cool edits, a lot of cool content of just like kind of like supporting the environment and getting people to go do stuff. And then he's just going to like take that side and then make a brand out of it and like make clothing and shirts and like whatever we're putting on there, like he's going to do merchandise with it. So we're calling it Real Shot Outdoors because we got the fishing reel and we got the shotgun.
Yep.
We're from the South, so like we love the outdoors, man. And I think it's one of those things for me. Looking at him, I was like, "You're kind of like he's not getting old, but
Sorry, Dad.
no, like you're not old, but it's one of those things like time's gonna run out eventually. Like let's do this.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm senior in college, like I'm gonna be getting a job eventually, and it's like, hey, like I'm going to do this. Let's do it now.
I mean, you don't know what's going to happen tomorrow, so you just kind of have to do it. That's what I learned.
And worst kind of worse, this is something my dad and I get to work on with one another, and it's something I'll have for the rest of my life, And I can say, like, we did. So I think for me...
And maybe it's just a YouTube thing. Maybe it doesn't pan out the way you want it to.
Oh, and that's fine.
But that's fine at the end of the day, but at least you say you did it.
Yeah, at least we tried. And
at least you could tell your kids, like, hey, this is what me and my dad did.
Like, look at this shirt, or look at this hat, look at these videos that me and my dad have together.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just want to go for it. Might as well. And I think that's kind of becoming my thing. Like, might as well.
Yeah, might as well.
Yeah,
like
it can't hurt. Like the worst that can happen is I put content up and someone says you suck at this, dude. And I'll be like, all right, well, I'm learning.
I mean, there's probably a comment within the next hour, and
probably. So we're at 26 minutes. I bet 10 minutes ago, someone's probably like, "Man, these guys are boring." But like, who cares, man?
Who cares? Like, we're doing it because we got 40 guys in a locker room, and maybe some coaches, and maybe some family members that want to listen to it. But
that's fine.
That's fine with me.
We're having fun.
I'll take my 50 people and run with it.
Yeah. Well, all right. So we talked about on the visit how you kind of saw Joey with my shirt, and you had the brand. So two things, like one, tell me about your brand, and it's been a couple things. Like you've seen a shift in your brand.
Yeah.
That's been really cool to watch.
It's a complete flip.
And then also did seeing Joey support me like that, did that have anything to do with coming to High Point?
Actually funny you say that. Like I went back home, like I didn't really say anything about it. I just kind of observed because I like to observe.
Mm-hmm.
I really like here on my visit, I really didn't. Like I put myself out there enough.
Yeah.
To where people knew my name, good or bad, good bad publicity, good publicity. Doesn't really matter. But seeing Joey in your shirt, like, kind of opened my eyes a little bit because, like I've had people that say they're gonna support things and then just don't do it. But Joey was walking around with it like a smile on his face, like in 32-degree weather. Because why wear a jacket? Like
it's too tough for that.
Yeah,
man. You can't do that.
But seeing him in that shirt kind of opened my eyes. I'm like, and that was honestly one of like the key parts in like the decision process. Like it's like those little things, like where I was like, he supports his guys.
Yeah,
like, his guys are like family. Like I'm all in.
Yeah.
But
which is different when you're trying to flip a program.
No, but right when I committed like 2 weeks after my visit, and like 3 weeks later had my business up and running. Kind of a terrible idea at the time with my funds, but it's fine. We all make mistakes, but I don't think it was a mistake at the end of the day. It's just a learning lesson.
Yeah.
But then staff had shirts within 2 weeks, and I get a selfie of Joey in my shirt, and I'm just like, all right, he hasn't known me 3 weeks, but that's sick.
Yeah. Well, then you mailed stuff to me too.
But yeah, I did.
Hey, here's a couple shirts.
And then my JUCO team kind of hopped on board with it, and honestly, those were the only, and like some family members, those are the only people that kind of like hopped on board with it. Like I was trying to it's kind of hard to start a brand when nobody knows your name.
Yeah.
But when I stopped it like after a couple months because I'm like, it's kind of hard.
It's a lot.
It's a lot,
especially as an athlete.
It's a lot to work on. It's a lot of behind the scenes work to run a brand like that you want. Like for it to succeed. And you got to have the right people in your corner. I mean, thanks, Mom. But you got to have the right people in your corner and the right people to support it. And there wasn't enough outreach for it, so I just kind of like made it die on its own. But then when I got here, I was wearing my shirt around, and a couple guys were like, "What? Like you have your own brand?" It's like, "Yeah,
Yeah, dude.
in fact, I do." No, but what's funny is that so my brand's now called Be the Bird. It used to be Ride the Wave because I was all about like find a wave, ride it, and it was a lifestyle. But like now it's like it's still that, but the sub part of it is Be the Bird, and the whole Be the Bird thing came from a tweet in the summer that I didn't know I tweeted.
Well, all right. So I think with Be the Bird too, you got on campus and guys were I remember guys
they were messing with me for 2 straight months.
Like, wow, it's Be the Bird, man.
And I didn't know what it
you
meant.
had no clue what they were talking about.
So I didn't know what it meant. So here's the backstory. So I was actually at the baseball house not too long ago, like a couple months ago in the fall, and they were like, Be the Bird, Be the Bird. And I was just like, all right, I'll just be the bird. I didn't know what it meant. And then I kept on like for an hour, like I was asking questions. They gave me all these hints, and they were like social media, like Twitter, like. So I was like, all right, I don't know. Twitter's a bird.
Go check it out.
Yeah. So then I asked a couple of guys the next day. They're like, well, just check your Twitter. Like, it's right there. And so I did it, and I read through it, and I was like, oh, like, I'm pretty good with words. No, like, I'm not going to lie. Like, it was just like, I was on a walk through nature, and I tweeted out, like, the birds are on their own wave, and be like the bird, and you just don't care what anybody thinks. And so they were like, just make shirts.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right. So over.
I think what was fun about it was like it started as a joke.
Started as a joke.
It morphed into this thing where like the whole team's been kind of like.
No, it started as a joke, and they're like, no, like we'll hop on it.
Yeah.
And now like a couple people like that we know on campus, even professors like, Be the Bird.
Yeah.
They're like, you be a bird guy? And I go, you talking to me? Like, yeah, I am. And they're like, oh, that's cool. Like, we see other people like walking around. Like, my anthropology professor was like, what does that mean? You made me stand up in front of the class for 20 minutes and talk about it. I mean, that's good.
That's
outreach
there,
for
man.
40
that's
people.
Networking. You're branding yourself, man.
No, but like it's so cool. Like, I just walk around and they're like wearing it. Like, even the coaches are like wearing it, like proudly. Like, I mean, it's comfortable, but like they're wearing it.
This is an advertisement for Be the Bird. Great quality, unbelievable brand. I was really check it out.
No, yeah, but like, I mean, once season takes off, I feel like it could be a bigger thing. Like, they could be the Bird Saturdays.
I mean, why not?
I mean, it's kind of hard to send stuff from California to. To put stuff in my room so I could have things, but like you never know. I could find somebody around here and we could.
Hey, I got a guy with t-shirts. So. He's actually making
our logo.
The logo for this podcast. So shout out TJ Jones. If y'all need any logos or advertisement things, anything like that, hit him up. I'll drop his contact information wherever I can do that. I'm new to this technology, so we'll see. It'll be on there. It'll be on there. So thank you, TJ. It looks great, man. You're doing a great job.
Yeah, so those are the brands that we got, and hopefully you're still listening, and we could, introduce those brands, and maybe one day have a merch drop, and maybe coincide with Be the Bird and what was it? What was it called?
Real Shot
Outdoors times Be the Bird. Like,
who knows, man? Who knows? And like, I think it goes back to like, might as well. There's no reason not to. And I think to have something that's your own, whether that's your baseball career, whether that's your style on the mound, whether that's the kind of coffee you like it doesn't matter. Like,
that's this.
Yeah, like having your own thing. I think that people respect you for that.
Yeah.
I think like. And obviously, like, you'll get clowned for stuff. I mean,
we'll probably get clowned for this.
1,000%.
It's fine.
And that's
Might as well.
Might as well. Who
I'm
cares?
embracing it.
Yeah, and I think that there is something though to a lot of people aren't willing to try new stuff and put
Yeah.
themselves out there, and I think there's a lot of creativity, especially in the college athletic world, where we either feel limited that we can't share, or we don't have the resources.
Yeah.
And whether the resource is time, whether it's facilities, anything.
But speaking of that, like, I feel like that land, I didn't really want to get into that, but that landscape is changing to where we can, like, sort of express ourselves
Yeah.
and sort of, like, put ourselves out there. Like, I mean, under the name, image, likeness
Yeah.
role, even though, I mean, this is not for funds or money or whatever, but
Right.
like,
We'll probably have to fill out some kind of form
yeah,
just for being like,
for being on YouTube.
yeah, but
no, but like seriously, in all seriousness, it's like it's like, I didn't want to bring this up, but like ever since COVID, like it's a new world.
Yeah.
Like, no, I didn't listen to a podcast. I didn't know what a podcast was.
I feel like when you listen to a podcast, you realize you're getting older.
No, I swear, no. And we're doing it right now, so I feel like I'm 35.
It's kind of like when I grew into liking banana pudding. I couldn't stand it as a kid, and then now I'm like, oh, dude, this stuff's so good.
It's really not that bad.
Yeah.
No, but like ever since like COVID, like starting to listen to podcasts and stuff like that made me want to start one, and I didn't. Everything happens for a reason, so if we didn't have that, I don't think I'd be sitting here.
Yeah.
I really don't think I'd be sitting here.
Yeah.
I don't even think I know you.
I don't think if COVID hadn't hit, I don't think I transferred.
I don't think I'd do it either.
So,
but it happened for a reason.
Yeah.
And that's why I'm here embracing it. So you got to do whatever.
Yeah, man.
No, but I'm in the middle of reading Atomic Habits. You know what that book is, by James Clear.
No clue, but
great book. But I saw this quote, and it was, "I've always had the view that how successful you are is really a function of how you deal with failure. If you deal with failure well and you persist, you have a high probability of being successful." And I kind of think that coincides with what we're doing right now. I mean, it's really not failure. It could be, but I don't want to put that into the world. But it's all about, like we said in the introduction, like it's all about embracing the chase, the change, and chance of being great every day. It's all about persisting. Like,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like that coincides with what this podcast is all about. Shout out Bill Ackman for the quote.
Copyright rules, all that stuff.
No, but yeah. What do you think about that?
I think it applies to baseball great.
No, it does.
In anything, I don't want to limit this just to athletes. No. Like in every single day. I mean, whether it's school, whether it's your job, your 9 to 5, whether it's your passion, starting a brand or something.
Yeah.
You're gonna hit a wall. And I think if you just kind of hit that wall and stay there, your dreams are gonna die.
No, yeah.
Whereas if you kind of get up and brush it off, figure out how to get around that wall, there's just no telling what's on the other side. I think with baseball, we heard a lot of times like it's a game of failure. It's a game of failure. It's like, okay, but like I think we almost overuse that to where it's like you're expected to fail.
You're expected to fail because I mean, greatest players are 3 out of 10 times successful.
But we're pitchers, man. We don't hit.
No,
so
we don't hit. It doesn't matter.
We don't have to fail 7 times.
No, it doesn't pertain to us.
If I fail 7 innings, that's just not good. I wouldn't make it 7 innings,
You're just not playing.
So,
at that point.
Yeah.
No, but it says if you deal with failure and you persist, I feel like if you embrace that failure, even in life, like life's all about failure. It's all about learning the lessons. It's all about embracing everything that's thrown your way. But like if you don't embrace that failure, like I don't think you take the step forward into like anything in life, even in baseball, academically, brand wise, relationship wise, friendship wise, everything that pertains to life, like everything, you fail at everything.
Yeah.
It's a game of failure. And I hate it. We all hate failure, but I mean, if you're chasing after success, like embrace the failure.
Yeah. And dude, I think one of the things is that I think adaptation has a lot to do with it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think it's. I think a lot of people think, oh, like I fail, I have to change everything. It's like it's not necessarily true, but
Mm-hmm.
it's little things every single day of like adapting the way you think, adapting the way you react, adapting the way you pick others up. And I think little adaptations over time end up making a big difference and can be like career changing, can be life changing. Because I mean, you reach that failure. A hitter, perfect example. If you don't make an adjustment, your next at bat.
Yeah.
And the best make it pitch to pitch. You make an adjustment pitch to pitch. Like you don't do that, you're not gonna go very far. So you kind of have to learn. Like it's a learning process along the way. And like I think the best players, the best business men and women, I think they learn how to adapt with their situations. They don't let their situations kind of overcome them. They just learn to like kind of go with the flow with it. And it's always they're picking up new information. They're the quiet ones that they kind of sit there, they observe, they learn, and they pick up things that most people just simply don't pick up, and that's what separates them.
No, yeah, 100%.
Dude, coffee's good, man. I killed a Starbucks during this, and it was absolutely amazing. I just had to say that it was on my mind.
Shout out High Point University for having Starbucks on campus.
Love the Starbucks. Kind of changing topics here, and I guess we'll kind of
let's just dial it in.
Yeah, like, well, you know what?
Might as well.
Yeah. What preseason rankings came out for Big South today?
I did see that.
Yeah,
I did see that.
We not that we're paying attention to them, but we're picked for third place.
Hey, we weren't dead last.
Not dead last. If you ain't first, you're last.
If you ain't first, you're last.
The famous words of Ricky Bobby.
Absolutely. But no.
What are the thoughts?
Third place. I mean, we could only go up from there.
Yeah.
I mean, we're not. Hopefully,
we better not go.
We better not go down.
I mean, it won't be handed to us. That's for sure. I think.
But hypothetically speaking, we're already in the tournament.
You got to win games to get there.
No, but hypothetically speaking, like they put us in top 4, so we're already in the tournament.
And once you're like,
don't let us in.
Yeah.
Don't let us in.
Yeah.
That's the motto this year. Don't let us in.
And I think what's different about this team is we're competitors, man. Like I don't think there's much quit in this team. And I mean, obviously the season has to roll around. I mean, we haven't really gotten hit with adversity yet, but
no. Hey, the journey is the destination. That's what I learned.
All right.
No, like
dang, philosophical right there.
Yeah,
that was good, man.
That was pretty deep.
That was good.
That was pretty deep. But that was actually on my mind. What I was going to say next is like just like glad that you brought up those rankings, that they don't matter.
Yeah.
I mean, our journey started in August, and the destination is obviously in June. But I mean, I think every day is the destination.
Yeah.
You just got to master it.
We read a book called The Energy Bus by John Gordon as a team, and we talked about it the other day. And my section that I had to read was kind of exactly that. I talked in front of everybody. I was like, the future is going to take care of itself. Like the results at the end of the season are going to be what they're going to be. You know, it may be getting a ring on our finger and going to a regional. It could be Omaha. It could also be not even getting into the conference tournament.
I mean,
but if we take care of today, if we handle what we can today, if we put
stack the days,
everything we can today, like it's gonna go, and it's gonna take care of itself. And I think once again, that kind of recurring theme is like, don't keep looking to the future, man.
No, like I mean, every day's a new day to master yourself. Every day's a new day to chase the opportunity to be great.
Have you ever played a Big South school before, like the K-State when you were there? Did y'all ever play anybody?
No, but fun fact, I've been in 3 out of the 5 of the big schools, like Big South, Big 12, Big 10. Oh. I just need the Big West and Big East.
Let's not transfer.
Let's not do that.
How about you just get drafted this year?
No, yeah.
You know what? How about tomorrow? You just take care of what you need tomorrow. That's what we're gonna do.
No, but I haven't played a Big South school, I mean, I don't know why I would play a Big South school at a Big 12 school or even in JUCO, but all my summer ball, I know 3 guys at Asheville, know 2 guys at A&T. Knew a couple guys at Campbell that ended up transferring because, I mean, Yeah, it's Campbell.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't wait. It needs to come.
Yeah, I think we're all kind of itching right now.
I mean,
We're all
when
really
we
itching
drop
for
this,
it.
we'll be 2 weeks away from the season. So
Yeah.
I mean, shout out Bryant.
Bryant coming in. Yep, and then we go straight out to Cal. Go home.
I gotta go home.
You get to go home.
Hopefully the schedule aligns to where I can actually go to my own house, but I don't think it will because did you see the schedule change?
Oh, did it?
Yes.
Where? How did it
We
change?
play. We were supposed to play at 5 on Friday and 1 on Sunday,
Okay.
but we play at 1 on Friday. Then we played doubleheader Saturday, and then it got switched to 5 on Sunday.
Mm.
So we were supposed to go. I was supposed to maybe go home on Sunday when we went down to the beach, but
How far from home will that be?
well, that was my dad's alma mater, Cal
Okay.
Baptist is. So like 45 minutes.
So like in
It's-
theory,
In theory, I
Saturday
could,
night you could go home and get back
but in theory, yes.
because
I
you've
could.
already pitched. Like, you'll pitch on Saturday.
Yeah, but I could go home, but I want to drive an hour each way? Probably not.
But dude, when will the next time you get to go home? When was the last time you went home anyway?
For the break.
Oh yeah, we just did.
We just did come back from
all right,
break.
You're right. You're right. I forgot we've only
No,
been in
but
school for 3 weeks.
before the break, I was home for 7 days and 6 months. But that's the life.
It's still pro ball, man, and pro
That's
ball
the life.
rolls around, and I feel like you will be home wherever you're playing, dude.
No, it is home. But yeah, I mean, I think we're good here.
Yeah.
Like I don't really want to wrap it up. Like I'm having a good time.
Yeah, but I think I'm looking forward to the
Yeah,
next
that's what
podcast.
episode-
Hopefully,
Hopefully you
If you're
guys make it.
listening,
Hopefully you guys make it to episode 2.
come to episode 2 and see what happens.
But in the meantime, subscribe to our YouTube at Embrace the Chase Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at Embrace the Chase Podcast. We're on Twitter as well, Embrace the Chase Pod. And we'll also be on Apple Music and Spotify. And we'll drop those links onto the YouTube in the YouTube channel, and we'll drop those links on the Instagram, and we'll go from there.
Yeah.
And hopefully,
and I guess episode 2 will be dropping the week of the first games, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
the Wednesday of game of Bryant.
So a lot to look forward to.
Yeah, I can't wait.
I can.
But yeah, thanks for being here.
Yeah,
man, I can't wait.
Embrace the chase.
I'm ready to embrace
Might
it.
as well. Might as well.
No,
Just
might as
embrace it,
well. So thank you guys. We'll see you next week. Peace.
man.
It won't do it. It's dead.
That's crazy.